Hey, what's going on? This is Sports Vibes TV. I'm your host, Quis, and right now there's a lot of news circulating about Julius Randle's future with the New York Knicks. So in this video, we're gonna be looking at a few options that the Knicks could use in order to extend Julius Randle and keep him here long term. But before I get into it, if you like this video, make sure you smash that like button, and also check to see if you're subscribed. If not, subscribe. And also make sure you hit that notification button. That way you're notified whenever I drop a new video. So let's look at some of these options that the New York Knicks have when it comes to keeping Julius Randle here long term. So the first option they would have is they could decide to extend him this offseason. And that's what the reports are, that they're going to meet this offseason to see if they can come to a realistic, contract. And you can see I made a table here for you guys to look at. And of course, next year he would still be on the same $19.8 million salary. But then you're going to see he would have an additional 4 years added to that contract, bringing the total to $126 million. Now, if he were to sign this extension next or in this offseason, he wouldn't be able to sign a max. Based on the rules of the CBA, he would only be able to get a 20% raise and then 8% raises thereon. So he would only be able to make $23.7 million in 22-23. And like I said, the total amount for this contract would be $126 million, and it would be a 5-year deal. And this would have new money totaling $106 million. Pretty sizable contract. I think this would be the best option for the Knicks, because you would be able to keep Julius Randle long term. And if you look at the numbers, these are team friendly. I think right now the Knicks are paying Julius Randle right around 19 mil, and he's definitely underpaid. And if you were going to have an extension that would average out to right around $27 million annually, I think that would be a great deal for the production that we're getting from Julius Randle. And also you have to keep in mind, Mitch is coming up. His new money is going to hit if we extend him, his new money is going to hit the books in 22-23. Then you're going to have RJ's new money when we decide to extend him hitting the books in 23-24. And then you're also going to have to remember IQ and Obi. If we keep them, if they're still key contributors to this team, we're going to have to pay them in 24-25. So as you can see, in all those years, Julius Randle is going to be kept at a reasonable cap amount. Now, if we're unable to come to terms this offseason, we still have opportunities to keep Julius Randle on this team. If we aren't able to do it this offseason and we're able to do it in 2022, that's when Julius Randle is eligible to get his max deal. So again, in 21-22, Julius Randle's going to bet on himself and still make 19.8 mil. But if he's able to come to agreement with us on a max deal, he would then make 34.7 mil in 22-23, and then he would have 8% raises every year thereafter. And then you'll be able to see that the total for this deal would be $221 million. And in total, from what we would have to pay him, it would be throughout 6 years. So you have the option extending him this offseason, which would be a 5-year, $126 million deal in total, or we would have to continue to pay him next season and then give him the max in 22. It would be in total 6 years, $221 million. Now, if we were to give him that max in 2022, that's a lot of money to be paying Julius Randle. Would he be worth $45.8 million in 26-27? And remember, we're still going to have to deal with extending RJ, Mitch, IQ, Obi, players that we view as, contributors on this team, pieces that are part of our long-term future. And also, I'm going to assume that Julius Randle's giving the same level of production in 21-22 when he hits the free agent market. So there's definitely going to be other teams interested to push this price up. So it's very realistic for him to command a max deal. And if you don't think other teams in the league would be willing to pay Randle, look at Paul Millsap. Paul Millsap was able to get a 3-year, $90 million deal from the Denver Nuggets in 2017. If you want something a little bit more recent, look at the deal Gordon Hayward was able to command from the Charlotte Hornets. He got $30 million annually. So, I know that's not necessarily starting at 34.7 mil, but Julius Randle would be much younger than Hayward when he hit free agency. If I'm not mistaken, he would have been younger than Millsap as well when he hit free agency. And then you got to account for inflation, the cap going up, a lot of other metrics involved when it comes to calculating where a player's value is when they hit free agency. So it's very likely that he could get this type of money. So I'm going to operate under the assumption that Julius Randle will be a max-ish player if he were to hit free agency. And to look at the amount of new money that he would be able to get, you're going to see $201 million in new money for Julius Randle. Like I said, that's a lot of money, and it would be a tough pill to swallow as a fan if we were to, give him the bag like that. I'm not sure if we can build a championship contender in, 24 to 27 when we're paying Julius Randle 40 mil, 43 mil, and 45 mil. There is some middle ground, and that's what the reports were kind of talking about. The Knicks could go to Julius Randle, or Julius Randle can go to the Knicks and say, hey, we can talk an extension or have an extension in this offseason of 2021, but I don't want to do a long-term extension, maybe a 2 or 3 year extension. And the benefits of this for Julius Randle is it would allow him to hit free agency again before he hits 31. Because if he were to sign a long-term deal in this summer of 2021, he would hit free agency again in 26, 27, and he would be about 30, 31 years old. So if he were to sign a shorter deal and maybe get a chance of going into free agency at, say, 23, 24, then he would be able to get a bag. Maybe he would still be eligible if he's playing at a high level to command a max deal. So that's one benefit for Julius Randle. You might want to say, why would he give up 201 mil? Well, maybe he doesn't want to risk going through 21, 22 and potentially having an injury. In the report, it's saying that he loves being here in, New York. Also, we've seen Julius Randle has a young child. Maybe he doesn't want to uproot his family and move. So he's willing to maybe sacrifice on some money and allow himself to still have the option to go out there and get some more money. So that would be a nice middle ground. It would allow us to still have Julius Randle at a reasonable cap figure and allow us to continue to build around Julius Randle. So I think personally that would be the best option for the Knicks if they were to go to him this offseason and maybe add another 2 or 3 years to his remaining 1 year on the contract. And that way we would still have flexibility to build around Julius Randle and ensure that, yes, he's going to take a lot of money off the table, but at least we're going to use that money to build around him and make sure he's competing every single year. So you guys, let me know what you think about this news. Do you think this is a good idea for us to approach him now, try to get ahead of the game and try to lock him up long term at a reasonable cap figure? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Once again, I'm Quis, host of Sports Vibes TV, and I'm out.